Chris Witaske. Welcome to General Meeting with Becky Sloviter. I'm going to attempt to be professional. This is going to be hard today because you and I are such pals.
Yeah.
You are the greatest dude and someone I just love to hang with. So I am so excited to have you here, and also I'm having trouble being like keeping a straight face and not being like Chris fucking Witaske, which is technically your name.
Yes, it is.
Okay, great. That's
Witaske. Some people say if you're from Chicago, Witaske.
You are Mr. Chicago, and we are going to get to that, which will include not just biographical information on you,
Yes.
but also the fact that you are such a notable Chicagoan. You threw out the first pitch at a fucking Cubs game.
Twice.
No big deal. I mean, it's like, we'll get into all of this, but you are an actor, you are a writer, you are in some fancy, acclaimed shit. Notably, The Bear.
The Bear.
Do you see my Every Second Counts and my Let It Rip up
Oh,
there?
you do? I
Because
didn't
I'm a
see that.
psychopath.
Oh, I didn't see those.
Yeah.
I was just studying this and I didn't see those.
I'm a true psycho when it comes to that show. I love it so deeply. You play Pete. You've been on all 4 seasons.
Yep.
You are married to Abby Elliott's character, Natalie, on that show.
Yep.
We will get into all of this, but I also want to flag for anyone watching this, in addition to listening, you look incredibly familiar because you are also living on our TVs at all times in these progressive commercials.
Yes, I am.
So as, you know, I sit down every Sunday and I'm just watching football all day, and there you are 27 times a day. You have been a part of this huge campaign, national commercials, for a long time. So in addition to being a really acclaimed and successful actor, you also are like, you're everywhere. I see you all the time.
I'm paying the bills.
Yes.
With Dr. Rick progressive commercials. Yes, this is very...
Mary Elizabeth Ellis was here recently, and she and I were talking about how national commercials used to really be a thing. And like it was, and now they're so, like, again, it's an amazing paying the bills thing.
Yes.
And especially now in the time we're going through in Hollywood.
Yes.
What a thing. What a thing to have.
Truly. I've heard tale of back in the 90s, if you did a commercial, you could buy a house. And those
I'm
days,
start cackling.
Those days are no longer.
Those days are through, my friend.
Yeah, but no, I've done, I think, I counted recently, and I've done like 20 of those spots.
It's amazing.
In different, you know, some are 30 seconds, some are 15 seconds, da, da, da.
Yeah.
But there was a time a couple years ago where I was feeling really cool, and I was like, you know what? The next time they offer me one, I think I'm going to turn it down.
Yeah.
But then, like, COVID and the strikes and the Los Angeles started on fire.
Oh,
and
my
now
God.
I'm like, thank God I have. Yeah.
Oh, 100%. I had another guest. We were talking about the same thing. We talk a lot at General Meeting with Becky Sloviter about how the business has changed, but it is really, I'm flagging it only to say, it's just so rare that a commercial campaign can break through. It's like you guys and Jake from State Farm.
Yeah, truly.
And now I'm done.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
like it's wild.
Yeah.
It's wild.
The thing I like about them too is they're actually funny.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, they're sincerely funny.
Yeah. So it's not like, I feel like some commercials could potentially be embarrassing, but these are like actually funny, and they let me improvise like when we film them.
It's great.
And so
it's great.
Yeah.
But I love also the balance of you can do this, and then you're in like goddamn Lady Bird.
Yeah.
And you're on The Bear. Okay. I was saying this I think to Casey Wilson when she was here, and I was thinking about this in prep for sitting with you. She is, and you are, like the funniest human, but also really, really deep.
Oh, yeah.
And that's my favorite kind of person.
Same.
And that's
Same.
kind of the perfect, I think, segue into getting into a bit of your biography. But the last thing I do want to say at the top that we will touch upon down the road.
Yeah.
We always have such like deep, soulful conversations. And we met, you had been sober for about a year or two when we met, I want to say.
In a general meeting.
Yes, we did. Exactly. And we went so deep on your journey to getting sober. I just think this is something, if you're comfortable with it, that I would love to touch upon
of course.
Down the line, because it's inspiring, and also you're just, you know, I said this about Tyler Hoechlin when he was here, like you're an evolved dude. You are a real, like, you're a great guy, and also you want to go deep and have done a lot of work. So
done the work.
You really have.
It's a pain in the fucking ass doing the work. Oh my God.
God, if only there was a way to skip that.
No, yeah, thank you.
we're gonna get into all of it.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so because Mr. Chicago, you are born and raised in St. Charles, Illinois?
Correct.
Suburb of Chicago?
Correct.
How far outside? Like, you'd say like, I'm from Chicago? Like I'd say I'm from Philly?
I'm not allowed to say I'm from Chicago because people from Chicago will give me shit.
Yes.
So for like 40 miles west of the city,
Okay.
my dad born and raised in the city and then moved out to the burbs.
Yep.
And so I was raised out there.
Okay.
In 2 weeks, Becky, I am going the day after Thanksgiving to be the Grand Marshal of the St. Charles, Illinois holiday parade.
Oh my God. Honest to God, of all the like acclaim and accolades, is that one where you were like, holy shit.
I really am. Like they reached out and asked if I would do it. And like
were you like, me?
Truly, to like go back to my hometown, which I loved. It was a great town to grow up in.
Totally.
And just like a great community and very supportive.
Yeah.
And like where I started on my path as doing improv and theater and da-da-da-da. And also was kind of like not a great student, was kind of a little bit of a like fuck up sometimes.
Yep.
To now go back and be like, hey, I like made it. And like, and
totally
waving to people at the parade. I'm excited. And my parents are coming and like,
oh my God, they must be so proud.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's amazing. And then, so you grew up there.
Yeah.
You go to University of Iowa for college?
Correct.
Okay.
Major in theater.
Yep. Always knew you wanted to be a performer of some kind?
Because my dad took me to see a show at Second City when I was 13 years old. And
say more.
And
what show?
It was, the title is still, I think, the funniest title in Second City history. Slaughterhouse 5, Cattle 0 was the title of the show.
That's amazing.
And I started as a birthday party magician.
Okay.
And me and my best friend had a whole magic act that we would perform at
How
kids'
old are you when
parties.
You start doing this?
Like 12, 13. 14. Yeah.
Entrepreneurs. Tween entrepreneurs. I love it.
Had a whole magic act and we would perform at birthday parties.
Oh,
and
amazing.
My grandpa, my dad's dad, would do magic tricks like at Thanksgiving and Christmas, and he got me interested in it. And so that was my intro to show business. And then was raised on all the classic comedy movies, Ghostbusters, and my dad would let me stay up late to watch SNL. And so then when he took me into Chicago to see a show at Second City, and I saw all these people on the walls like Bill Murray and Chris Farley and John Belushi and Gilda Radner, and I was like, these people started here? Like it blew my mind. And the show was so funny. And so that night I was like, this is what I want to do with my life. And I switched from magic to
that, which is a pivot, but also you were comfortable on stage, you were comfortable in front of a crowd, you were comfortable performing.
Yes.
Okay, that's incredible.
Yeah.
I love those sort of lightning bolt experiences where you're like, the road forked and I went this way now.
Truly was. I still remember the night. I'm like, whatever this is what I want to do with my life. I knew that I'm going to do improv comedy and sketch comedy.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to have the college experience, but being a theater major, I was around all these like pretentious Shakespeare actors. And I was like, this isn't really what I want to be doing.
This isn't me.
Yeah. And so I had a blast in college. But,
you did.
But, oh yeah.
We'll get to that.
Social chairman of the
frat.
Biggest party frat on campus. And my senior year, we got voted #1 party school in the country. So
great work.
If you do the math, I was the #1 party animal in the country. Yeah.
And now 11 years sober. God bless.
Exactly.
I love it.
We'll connect those dots.
Yes, we will. Yes.
But I started my own improv group, in college with friends.
What was it called?
And Lightning in a Bottle.
Great name.
Yeah.
Great name.
Great name. And so then, moved to Chicago and then went right into, started taking classes at Second City, and it's a whole, you have to work your way up before you like get hired.
But then you are like, you're doing the thing.
Oh,
you are in, so the Second City was the goal. You go to college, you then get right to Second City.
Yes.
How long, because I'm always interested, like, when someone first has some success or becomes notable or, breaks through to some degree, it feels overnight. Like, oh, great. Mm-hmm. But everyone knows the Malcolm Gladwell 10,000 hours, right? How many years and what is the journey like for you at Second City before you start sort of finding your way?
Yes, so many. What's great about Chicago
Yeah.
and the Chicago comedy community is you can really get up on stage and fall flat on your face and do it over and over and over again until you get better. And you can, so it's really
Meaning they are kind about it?
meaning it, the whole culture in Chicago is like, we are here in the community, in the comedy community, is we are all here trying to do this and get better at it.
Yeah.
And it's very supportive. Yes.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Not like New York. you
Not
say.
like New York and not like LA.
No,
Yeah.
for sure not.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so it's a great place to cut your teeth and fail and get better. And so, as you said, a lot of people, it is that overnight success thing, but it's like, I've been like doing this for, I mean,
Yeah.
you know, I was in the trenches for probably 6 or 7 years before I got any kind of
Yes.
traction in Chicago. Yeah.
Which I think is so important to highlight only because that's a long time.
It's a long
Like
time.
that's not
Yeah.
18 months, which seems like forever at the time also. Like 6 or 7 years is you have to have a real belief, a real desire, a belief in yourself, and a like, I'm gonna keep going.
Yes.
That's real perseverance.
When all my college buddies are like lawyers
I was
and
gonna
business
say,
guys
finance.
and starting families at finance bros
Yes.
and I'm doing make-em-ups
Yep.
at 2 a.m, you know, in a bar basement. Yeah.
And like you're at like the weddings, you know, as people, that first phase of people getting
Oh,
married
yeah.
and like, how's it going? How's it going, bro? Are you like,
Yeah.
it's going
It's going
great.
good.
It's going great. Oh, geez, buy a condo? Cool.
I'll tell you a quick story about
Yeah,
one of my
please.
friends from college. This is the best. I was in my fraternity, was in a fraternity of all business majors. And then I'm the sole theater major. Okay. And my friend Justin Cochran, whenever finals would come around and they're all like cramming for tests and writing papers and all these business guys, my friend Justin Cochran would say to me, "What do you have to do for finals, Witaske? Go find a mirror and work on sad."
That's amazing.
He wasn't wrong. I mean,
I was just gonna say, and
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
there's
yeah.
you know truth behind every joke.
yes.
That's incredible, incredible. What is then
Yeah.
the turning point of like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
I'm getting somewhere.
Second City's the big thing in Chicago, and it's a lot of people's goal.
Yeah.
But there are other theaters too, where there's the Improv Olympic Theater.
Yeah, I was gonna say
and another
IO.
one called the Annoyance Theater,
Yep.
which is there are also great supportive theaters where you can get stage time.
Mhm.
And so I was doing a lot of that, doing shows at all these places. And then you finally, you know, you audition once a year to try to get on the Second City touring company.
Mm.
And so I auditioned for that a couple times and didn't get hired until finally got hired.
did.
Yes. And so like one of the greatest days of my life.
I bet.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Then what happens when you get in the Second City touring company? You're going around the country
Yes.
in like almost a troupe,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And
In a van.
Right. Literally.
Yeah.
Like you are on tour.
You are.
And is that
Yeah.
when you just get put on the radar of the people in New York and LA
Yeah, yeah.
and are you getting representation at this point? Like, is that when you find your manager?
I got a representation through when I did the Just for Laughs festival in Chicago. They used to have one in Chicago too.
Oh, they did. Not
Yeah.
just Montreal.
Not just
Oh,
Montreal. I also did
interesting.
Montreal, but agents and managers would come to Chicago. The
Yeah.
smart ones would come to Chicago.
Yeah.
Because it's like an embarrassment of riches, of
Totally.
talent.
Totally.
And that's where I got my original Naomi Odenkirk.
I was just
my
going to say
manager.
Naomi.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then William WME signed me based on seeing me in Chicago. Yeah.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Okay. So then when do you move? Because did you spend any time in New York or did you just come right to LA?
Come right to, well, I was, after 10 years in Chicago, made it, I was on the ETC stage at Second City. So I
What's ETC stand for?
There's et cetera, like
Oh.
ETC.
We're cutting this. Go on. I knew that.
And so achieved my dream in Chicago. And so, but I was there for 10 years after college and
Yeah.
then moved right out to LA.
Okay, got it. And so then what is your first, I was trying to remember the order and maybe you will. You did a guest spot on a show I was producing called Alone Together.
Yes.
And then we had a long meeting, or we had a long general meeting, and then I saw you on set.
I bet it was the latter. I think we had a general meeting and then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
you
right.
at that point you were on Love.
Yes.
Right? The Netflix show with
Yes.
Gillian.
Yes.
So I remember we met there, but we went very deep in that first meeting. And I was like, this is my guy.
Listen, I've taken a lot of general meetings in this town. And
yeah, you have.
A lot of them are forgettable. Or, I mean, like, or like you can just tell that they're doing it because they have to or whatever.
Yeah, box checking.
Yeah. But I remember it was different with you right away. And I was like, oh my God, this is like, you were just cool and normal.
Thanks,
and like
man.
we connected. Yeah.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
And
you encouraged me too. I don't know if you knew this or not, but like
with the screenplay?
Yeah.
Yes, I do. But I was going to bring it up too. No, please say more. Yeah. Say more.
Well, I think you asked me if I had been writing, and this was, I was still like pretty fresh to LA probably, you know, and you asked me if I'd written anything. And I think I said, no, and you said you should write something personal. And I was like, I don't know what the hell I would write about personal. And then I told you that I had quit drinking and you were like, you should write a screenplay about this.
Yeah. I remember a lot of our conversation just because you were one of the first, again, like you hold this really interesting space of you're such a dude.
Oh yeah.
But you, right? Like, and I mean, that is a compliment, right?
Totally,
like, I think that's why you and my husband get along so well, like dudes in the best way. Yeah. And also real deep and like real evolved. And so it was like the best and most interesting conversation I ever had about drinking and our culture, our American culture, and how much we enable and turn a blind eye, and it's so socially acceptable, if not encouraged.
Yes.
And also, I don't mean this, I sound like a fucking schoolmarm here, but like, and will also ruin your fucking life.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
It can be both.
Yes.
Right?
I remember the conversation because I remember telling you that like some friends of mine were threatened by it when I came to them and said, I'm going to stop drinking.
Yes.
And some were very cool and supportive, but others were like, what do you mean you're going to quit drinking? You don't have a problem. And
because it holds a mirror up to them.
Yeah, exactly. And so I wrote a screenplay because you inspired me to, you encouraged me to, and the title was "It's Not About You." That was the title of the screenplay,
right?
Because
and you were developing it with Judd?
No,
was that a different one?
That's the one that I'm working on right now. But,
okay, got it.
But it was very personal, but it was about that like. Me quitting drinking has nothing to do with you.
Exactly. And everyone really was. Well, I think it also becomes like whenever someone is changing, that feels threatening to some degree.
Yes.
But so it's like the mirror holding up feels threatening, feels like puts people in like a weirdly defensive posture.
Yes. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And it's also like, I mean, without them actually saying, it's like, I mean, you don't have a problem, because that would mean I have a fucking problem.
Yeah.
Right. And especially social chair of the party frat. Like, and I remember, you'll have to correct the details of this, going back for like Thanksgiving or some family thing with like the super unhealthy uncle or cousin who's like, what's the problem? You're fucking sober?
What do you mean you're quitting drinking?
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, I saw my doctor, my colon exploded. And so I got to figure that out.
Unrelated to my lifestyle. No, exactly.
Yeah.
And just also how you really do see some friends show up for you and some friends really can't
learn
handle
who
it.
your true friends are.
Totally.
And you realize that, some of these friends were just my drinking friends.
Yep.
And then some are like true ride or die. Like, yeah, dude, I want what's best for you. And
it can be surprising who falls into what category.
I know. There's some people you don't realize that.
Totally.
Yeah.
I think that also, it's interesting. That extends to having success in this town and then having that success go up and down.
Yes.
I have a really clear memory. I don't know if we've ever talked about this, but I was on like a really good career path, then had my first kid, felt totally differently about my life and mothering and the whole thing. And then when I was pregnant with our younger one, decided to stay home for 3 years. Stayed home full time. And boy, did the people who we had dinner plans with cancel real quick.
Really?
And I was like, hey, just checking in to reset this, and like radio silence.
Really
and then when I came back and could fucking do something for someone again, or had a fancy job again, those dinners got set real quick.
Yeah.
And it's just interesting. And I wonder if you've experienced that also as your career has blossomed and like you're on the Bear. This town is so transactional.
It's so another interesting thing to me is like I still hang out in bars. Like if there's a game on, I'll go hang out in a bar. I like bars. Some people will be like, "Well, what are you gonna drink?" And I'm like, "A club soda."
Yeah.
And they're like, what do you mean you're just gonna sit there and drink a club soda? It's like, yeah, what the fuck do you care? And then some people are like, well, are you okay if I order a beer? I'm like, do whatever the fuck you want.
It's not about you.
Exactly.
Which is how you got to that title, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
The other thing that's interesting is like I'll see old friends from high school after having been out here and had some success and and it's always funny to me. Sometimes people are surprised that I'm just like the same dude.
Yeah.
Like, you're just like the same guy from high school, like joking around. And I'm like, yeah,
I know.
But some people think, I don't know.
No, I know exactly what you mean. And I also think this is why we became like fast friends and then started seeing each other all the time. We would run into each other at concerts. Like
to a weird, like all the time.
All the time.
Weird,
to the point where you ran into my husband at a concert 3 weeks ago.
Yes.
Like we both go to so many shows.
Yeah.
We would run into each other at like 50% of the shows we
I know,
went to.
it's
So
crazy.
then when your musical taste aligns.
That was the other thing
That's where you're like-
I loved about you right away because we connected on music.
Yes.
And I think we were talking about Bruce Springsteen or something. And like,
Probably.
God, there he is.
I don't know if it was an Arcade Fire concert. Did we see with Jason Isbell a couple years ago? I mean, of course.
Yes.
Like, just,
I forget there were a couple.
Isbell people are the best kind of people.
Yeah.
Sturgill
Simpson maybe too.
I remember running Mumford, maybe.
Yep.
So you have amazing musical taste, and there you go.
Ditto. Have you seen the John Candy documentary yet?
Sobbed my way through it. I loved it so much. Was he a huge guy for you?
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge. And even watching that made me realize even more that I'm like, if people ask me who's my number one, I always say Bill Murray.
Yeah.
Because he just was my guy, and Ghostbusters and just Second City and da-da-da.
Yeah.
But the older I get, the more I'm like, John Candy's actually my guy.
I'll just say my observation, John Candy is for sure your guy because John Candy has such an inherent sweetness, and that's what you have.
Thanks.
And no offense, Bill Murray, that isn't what I'd use to describe him. He's brilliant and amazing, and he's fucking Bill Murray.
Yes.
But
John Candy has the pathos. He has the funny and the heart. Oh,
it broke my heart.
Same.
I loved that.
The end of
Couldn't have
Planes,
loved it more.
Trains, and Automobiles.
Get outta here.
It's just like
We were just making a list of movies we want to rewatch over the Christmas break with our kids. All those like good Chicago, John Hughes like movies, which I have to imagine growing up in Chicago in the 80s and 90s, that had to have been such an enormous influence.
Huge.
Right?
All those movies, SNL, yes, just like I became comedy obsessed. Like I immersed myself. My mom bought me the VHS best of SNL from 75, 76, 77, 78. So I like grew up watching like the original SNL.
Popping that VHS in. Right?
Yes.
And like fast forwarding to your favorite part.
Yes. Oh yeah. And
the best.
Yeah.
That's so great. That's so great. One other thing I wanted to not forget to bring up, and then I would love to talk about the Bear in a moment.
Yeah.
Chicago Party Ann.
Yes.
So when we first met, I want to say, but please correct the details here, because I never was someone on Twitter, but I want to say it was a Twitter account called Chicago Party Ann, right?
Yeah.
And this was, are we allowed to like say it was you?
Oh, of course.
Okay, great. Because at the time I was like, I will never.
It was anonymous when I started.
It was so anonymous that I remember saying to Matt, I'm like, oh, I met this great guy. He's so funny. He's secretly is doing this Twitter account that is like the funniest fucking thing you've ever read. And I connected to it so deeply, even though I have a familiarity with Chicago like I grew up on those movies too,
Yeah.
and I'm obsessed with Oprah.
Yeah.
But like, that's about all I know.
You're Philly, right?
But I'm Philly.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say. There's a real connectivity. The accents are very different.
Yeah, but it's
even down
similar,
to the haircut.
Yeah, it's a
that
very
Chicago
similar.
Party Ant has.
Ripping cigs.
And just exactly.
Yeah.
And like the language is a little different, but it's like the sentiment's the same. So I loved it immediately. But it was like the funniest fucking thing in the world. Your takes on just everything.
Yeah.
Did you love
I
doing
would
it?
tweet as if I were this like woman, this road hard, put away wet woman who was based on like a couple of my actual aunts.
Yes.
And then I also, in Chicago, was a waiter, a server at Mike Ditka's restaurant. And these women would come in and like ripping cigs at lunch and drinking Pinot Grigio and like, hey, Chris, how you doing? Get over here. Like, tell me about your comedy. And so I started tweeting. Well, you know what it was like, in Chicago, when I was in Chicago, I was on stage every night doing shows for 300 people at Second City. And it was like this amazing creative outlet.
Yeah.
Then you move out here to Los Angeles and all of a sudden all that is gone.
All of it.
And you're just like living in a weird apartment in Los Feliz. And I'm driving around going to auditions.
It's so solitary and lonely.
So it is.
You have no metric of success, not in any real way, right? Like you might be doing well because you have all these auditions. They're loving you whether you get the part or not, right? But you don't know.
You have no idea.
No. So it was an outlet for your creativity.
Yes, that's exactly
what I love that.
Because I didn't have that anymore that what I had in Chicago. So I started writing jokes on Twitter as if I were this woman, and then it turned into and then all of a sudden it was a Netflix show.
I was just going to say, I mean, fast forward too. So you have this Twitter account for a while, then you co-create this show that is an animated show on Netflix that ran for 2 seasons called Chicago Party Ant, which is hilarious. Will you just set the scene for what the like way into the show is?
She has a gay nephew who is like, was raised in the suburbs of Chicago and is like a sheltered kid. And then he like teams up with his aunt, that's how you say it in Chicago. Aunt. And then they like go get into trouble together and like, it's.
I love it.
But yeah.
In Philly, Ant is short for Anthony. And it's like a very traditional nickname. Where's Ant? How's Ant?
Oh,
have you watched Task?
No.
I
hear it's good.
It's so good. And I just, big news today.
Philly?
It's set in Philly because it's also created by Brad Inglesby, who created Mara Easttown.
Oh, yeah.
And they're renewing Task for season 2 was the news I woke up to this morning and screamed.
People keep telling me to watch it.
You'll love it.
Okay,
Ruffalo, Tom Belfry.
Yeah.
Get out of here. It's so good. You'll love it. But there's a character that is referred to as Ant in that too.
But
and I was like, mwah.
How do you say like aunt, like your aunt in Philly? Is it aunt?
I don't say aunt. I say aunt.
You say aunt. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I also, how do you say horrible?
Horrible.
Yeah. And how do you say Florida?
Florida.
Yeah. And orange?
Orange.
Okay. So you, as my children explained to me, because as you know, Matt is from both Boston and Kansas.
Right.
So he has, the Boston accent got beaten out of him a long time ago. He has like I think, Midwestern accent at times. Not a strong one, but like he'll say horrible and orange and whatever.
How do you say all these words?
Horrible, orange, Florida. And my kids talk like him. And I was like, oh, boys, you have a Midwestern accent. They were like, no, Mom, you just have a Philadelphia accent.
You have a Philly accent.
Yeah. But
is water one of the...
So it was water.
Water.
I grew up saying water.
Water.
Didn't know that was weird. Went to college. And I remember the guy who made fun of me. And I was like, huh? And then have said water ever since. There's nothing like being shamed as a 17-year-old.
Soda or pop?
I say soda.
Yeah,
I was
Chicago
rewatching. Yep, I was rewatching some Chicago Party Ant in prep for this, and there were some tennis shoes. That's what you would call sneakers, right?
Yeah.
That's what Matt explained to me. That's a Kansas City thing too. I was like, what are tennis shoes? Like you playing tennis? Oh, and we also say Hokies. So we would never call anything like, no, I didn't know what a sub was.
I went to Philly for the first time, like maybe 2 summers ago.
Were you shooting something there?
And no, I was going to a Phish concert in Delaware. And I was like, I've never been to Philly. I'm going to go to Philly for like a weekend.
Yeah.
And I did all the tourist shit and I loved it.
I'm so happy to hear that. It's the greatest city ever.
Great.
I love it.
Like standing in Independence Hall.
Yes.
And
Liberty
standing
Bell
in the room.
Yeah.
And you're like, Ben Franklin sat right
Talk
there.
about the room where it happened.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
and it's kind of just like a shitty wooden room. It's not that
know.
special, but it's just, yeah, it's cool.
I know. We were watching the Eagles game the other day, and in one of the little packages, like behind the scenes, they were at Betsy Ross's house. And I was like, been there for many class trips. And Matt was like, of course you have. Like, I'm just so obsessed with everything Philly, and like, will
of
not
course,
shut up
everybody
about
who's
it.
from Philly.
I know. It's a whole thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't you feel that
Same
about
with
Chicago?
Oh, big time.
Right? I remember it was very, very exciting when you were throwing out the first pitch. I didn't realize this has happened twice. So give me the context for that before we jump into the bear. It'll be a good segue into
at Cubs game.
show.
I've thrown out the first pitch twice at a Cubs game and sang the 7th inning stretch.
Oh my God, dude. When does this first come about? Like, what level of success have you achieved that they're like, Witaske?
Yes.
Witaske. But it's time.
I think I'm a big deal in Chicago.
Yeah, you are.
I'm kind of a local.
Kind of a big deal. I
no,
mean,
Chicago Party Ant definitely, because you know what's funny about Chicago Party Ant is Netflix like gave us our numbers, the show comes out and then after a couple
28
weeks,
days later, you find out
how it's doing. And they were like, well, it's doing really well in Chicago.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
You know what? No higher compliment though.
I know. Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was
so I
one
did
of the
a lot
first
of
times?
Chicago press, and through that got in with the Cubs and they asked me to. But I mean, I grew up going to Cubs games, lifelong fan.
That must have been.
Oh my God.
Right?
My
like
parents,
a true pinch me.
Truly.
Right? Were you like, actually, if I never have any more success than this, I'm good.
And the reason for and as I've gotten older, the best thing is always when my parents are there. Like doing this parade coming up, my parents are going to be there.
And that's totally.
I brought my dad out to the mound with me when I threw out the pitch. I was like, you're coming with me. And he came out there and was like my pitching coach and stood behind me. Like,
that's incredible. Yeah. That's a true, like, you got to stay so present in that moment so that you can remember.
Truly.
Because that is a true lifetime.
So much of this Hollywood stuff is all bullshit.
You bet.
It's truly bullshit. A lot of this stuff. And fame or whatever. And it's all so fleeting and da.
Totally.
That what means the most to me these days is if I can include my parents, or if I get, what I love is if a friend from high school or someone will reach out.
Totally.
Like, even on Facebook, like, hey, I just wanted to let you know I've been following you. I'm gonna cry.
No, I love it so much. No, but it really is so meaningful. I got a Christmas card in the mail the other day from my friend. It was, a picture of her beautiful family, Esther, and she was one of my best friends in college. And at the bottom it said, I love your podcast. And I texted her and I was like, this made my day.
Yep.
But actually, that means more to me to hear from her, right? Because it's like, what's life about except like the people we collect along the way. I love that so much.
The quitting drinking thing, I will post about it on my, if it's an anniversary, I'll post. I'll make a little post and say hey, I'm 10 years, sober from alcohol, and a big handful of people have reached out to me and said seeing you post about that inspired me to look at my shit, and a couple people have said I quit drinking because you kind of inspired me to do it or whatever, and that shit to me is so that is wow. Yeah.
And this is, again, you're just such a real good person. And to exist in a town like this and retain that. I was talking to another guest about this. Everything in this town, everything is external validation.
Yeah, well, big,
right?
Big. And now with social media, it's it's on steroids. Yeah.
Right. So if you don't have, you are getting married soon, you have a wonderful fiance, you have, now I learned the 2 greatest dogs of all time. But my boy, whenever I send you the Christmas card, I just send it to Murray Witaske. So you have an amazing dog named Murray. And now
a daughter named Sally.
Exactly. A 9-month-old
golden retriever. Killer.
A gorgeous little lady.
Terrorist.
Yes, exactly. As all 9-month golden retrievers should be, I suppose.
So, yes.
She's going to turn a corner soon. I know it.
She's the best.
But like, you have real shit in your
Grounding
life.
shit. Yeah,
exactly. Because the rest is out of your fucking control.
This biz is like so.
Especially now.
Do you like this biz?
I'm a little down on the biz.
You've had an interesting.
I have, and it's like I always call it the long and winding road.
I went and saw you in your corner office at Miramax.
You did. That's right. With that fucking view of Nakatomi Plaza.
Like the Hollywood dream.
That was crazy. I know.
And I don't know how much I'm allowed to say here, but like, I remember being like, Becky, you're the president of, that was the title, right?
Yeah.
Of Miramax.
I know.
And I was like, is this awesome? Do you love it? And you were like, kind of not really.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I know. And it's it's interesting because I remember saying to everyone, like, sounds fake, right? Like, I'm the president of Miramax. Like, it still sounds fake to me that even was a thing.
Yeah.
But also because, studios aren't what they used to be. And that also, like, I'm such a producer. That I was very fortunate to be thought of for that job. I'm grateful to have had it. I learned a lot.
I'm sure, yeah.
Absolutely, like, pardon in a nice way. But yeah, just when you're in something that should from the outside feel great and seem great, and oh my God, look at your office, and then isn't, it's like, someone said this recently, like, when you're in a group of people, but you've never felt more lonely.
Yeah.
It's like that,
Yep,
right?
yep,
That
yep.
juxtaposition is just like, oof. No, I am so negative on the business, and like, how can you not be?
Yeah.
But doing this podcast is actually, I have like found my creative soul again.
Really?
Because all I want, and this is how I came up with the idea of this, I was leaving Miramax and I was like, okay, I'm going to go back to my company. What do I like to do? Like, I loved making the movie I made last year, but the like bullshit of Hollywood and getting anything made and getting your movie financed and attaching cast and do they actually stick and who's meaningful and all that nonsense that has gotten so out of control because really we don't really make movie stars anymore because we're not a monoculture anymore. So like when you and I were growing up, John Candy, Bill Murray, Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt, like whoever, those are movie stars.
Right.
They're opening a movie, you're going, and there's 5 other good movies out that weekend that like you'll see eventually too. That doesn't exist anymore for the most part, unless it's like a true event. And, that was, I guess, Top Gun Maverick. I was like, get me to the theater. And I saw it 3 times in the theater because I'm a lunatic. I never would have considered seeing that on my TV.
Yes.
I'll stop being on my fucking high horse here. But just to say, it's changed so abruptly and it has become such a, like, we lost the fun and the joy.
Yeah.
That I'm so grateful that I am now doing what I love, which is connecting one-on-one with people. And that's what a general meeting is. And that's why I always loved it. Because I didn't know you. You came in because I think Naomi had called me. And if Naomi Odenkirk calls you, I'm like, she's the best taste ever. And I was like, I can't wait to meet him. And like, some generals, I'm like, he was nice. But no, I was like, oh, I made a friend.
Because we connected.
Totally.
Yeah.
And that's
on
like,
a deeper
again,
level.
what is life about?
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, but like, so because my dream is to have Bill Murray's career or John Candy's career. And I know I have the talent.
Yes.
But now here I am, I'm 42, and I feel like I'm kind of a journeyman actor. I've been in a bunch of shit.
Yep.
But I'm not at that level.
Yep.
And I didn't move to LA to help sell car insurance.
Right.
You
yes. God bless you, Progressive. We love you.
Right.
But,
right.
Yes,
but like,
no.
I'm doing that because it gives me my SAG health insurance and da-da-da-da.
Exactly. But no, you moved here to do the performance at the end of season 2 of The Bear, episode 10. That is a performance. I mean, not only was I sobbing at your performance, I was like, my guy. My guy is such a good actor.
Thanks.
So yes, exactly. You know you have that talent.
Yeah. And I feel grateful that I have now had opportunities to show it, like that. But I'm watching the John Candy documentary. I'm like, this motherfucker was in so many, he was like.
It's astonishing because there was opportunity. I feel like that was sort of the question you were asking,
it is,
right?
Yes,
like
yes.
the talent is, having the talent's one thing, but is the opportunity even there anymore?
And now there's way more competition too. Now, like I think back in the 70s, 70s, it was like, oh, here's like a handful of funny guys.
Yes.
And now it's like, here's a boatload of funny guys and everybody's talented and you're competing against all them. And
Completely.
yeah.
Completely. It's wild. It's wild.
So I want your advice because
Yeah.
you've had all this producing experience now. So now what I'm really doing more than I ever have is writing my own shit. And
Yep.
so I'm developing something with Judd Apatow right now.
Yeah, amazing.
I'm developing another thing with a big production company that just signed on to do a thing. And so we're going to like take it out and we're going to pitch these cool ideas that would be vehicles for me, but also all my funny friends I want to pull in.
So you are trying to take a little of the control and be a little bit not the master of your destiny, but whatever the wording would be.
Yes.
And it's really hard. Like
So how do you break through to
I wish there was a clear or clean answer to this.
Yeah.
I do always still feel like talent is talent is talent, and having,
the cream rises to the top.
Yeah, and like the perseverance, and also like you have had great success.
Yeah.
Like what's crazy is that the percentage of members of SAG who we have never seen in anything or heard of is a humongous percentage, right? Like the statistics are against you to have success in this field.
Yes.
For sure.
Yes.
You've already had great success and you're trying to sort of level that up,
Correct.
right? And it is such...
I've played the funny best friend a lot now, and I'm ready to...
You have. No, exactly. And also you have leading man looks.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Not to sexually harass you on my podcast, but you get the point. Like
I've also lost 10 pounds recently, so...
Not to brag. But you're like a romantic lead, right? And there's so few opportunities for that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll ask her later if I need to edit this out, if this is too embarrassing. My best friend Amy very, very recently said to me that she just learned who Timothée Chalamet is only because he's dating Kylie Jenner.
Yeah, see.
She's a good litmus test for me for like who actually has broken through.
Right.
So I would just say, I don't have like a clear answer of like, well, here's what you need to do.
Yeah, of course.
I think it's really like you're doing what you're doing.
Persistence
you're collaborating with, but you're also collaborating with the right people, right?
Yeah.
Like you're collaborating with Judd and Josh over there. Like they're amazing, right? And you are on, okay, we are actually going to get to the bear now, but you have major cred. You're fucking professional. You're always on time.
Yes.
You are so pleasant to be around. You are unflappable. You are all the things that you used to be able to be an asshole in this town and keep working. It's getting harder.
Right. It's getting right. That is a big thing. Like I have really realized that like, oh, if you're easy to work with and not that I want to be an asshole.
No, if that's not in your nature.
Right. But some people do. Like
some people really do.
Yeah. And
you
see it.
Those
like,
people, I'm like, see you never. We're not doing this. No way.
Yeah.
And, I keep it to myself, but like, and that's what all producers and execs and like, we have a long list that we're keeping.
What's with these assholes? I think it's all based in insecurity.
I think it's ego.
Ego and
insecurity. Well, and also, as we always say about Hollywood, high school with money. I love actors and I have real empathy that it is hard to be in front of the camera with very little to no control over how that finished product is going to turn out.
Yeah.
So it's an exercise in trust. So to be in front of a camera, trusting that this thing that's going to live forever is just like, they'll get the best takes. I look good is like, whew.
The experience of going to a premiere and seeing yourself up on a screen for the first time, because you're seeing whatever the thing is for the first time with a big audience of people.
Which is wild.
It's so...
Which is wild
that
that's the case. No, you leave set and a year plus later, you're like...
showing up
hoping.
in your little outfit and you're sitting there and then all of a sudden your big face is on the screen and you're like...
Is that what I look like?
Is that what I look like? Is that what my voice sounds like?
Yeah.
What am I doing with my eyes there?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Totally. And you it's very self-conscious and very anxiety inducing and it's all the things. And so I think that also plays into often people not wanting to be assholes, but feeling so vulnerable. Which our favorite word, because I remember what we really bonded hard about in that first general meeting was Brene Brown.
Oh,
Our girl.
Daring Greatly.
There I go.
That's one of my favorite books.
As you know, I named my production company A Dare to Be Great Situation
That's right.
because it's a line from Say Anything, my favorite movie of all time, Lloyd Dobler, but also because of Daring Greatly.
Yes,
I was like,
yes,
okay, I get my
yes.
2 things in there, Cameron Crowe and Brene Brown.
When she talks about how a lot of people think vulnerability is weakness, but it's actually the opposite.
100%.
I remember reading that, like, oh my God, it like opened up so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hits you like a ton of bricks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about the bear briefly.
But we didn't even
could.
touch on our shared therapist, but okay.
Oh, I love it. Our shared therapist who I had a session with this morning, and I was like, and guess what I'm doing today? Okay. In that first meeting, this is the serendipity of life. Thank you for bringing this up.
Yeah.
Because I really do believe like you put something out there and like the road rises to meet you.
Yeah.
I was back to work full time for like a little over a year when we met, meaning
At Lonely Island.
yes,
Yeah.
running Lonely Islands company. They were the best. And so I like had like a salary and like could afford things again after being home full time, you know, with no help and like on half our income. So I was like, okay, I got to get back to therapy. And I remember we had such a great conversation that day that I said something in passing about, oh, I need to find a new therapist. And you were like, I remember this like verbatim. You looking for a therapist? I love mine. And I was like, I would love to take that person's name. Great. And that is now not just our shared therapist. We have both referred everyone we know.
In Hollywood.
I got a text from a friend 2 months ago who said, hey, do you have a therapist that you love? And I was like, do I? And I sent the info. And she was like, I thought you might. And I was like, that's the highest compliment you could give me. Like, that is not an insult on any level.
Same.
Right? She is the greatest.
I think for me, maybe 10 plus years I've been going to.
That's amazing.
Her.
That's amazing. I'll have to ask her, are you going to listen to our episode or is that going to be a mind fuck for you? But I have truly referred so many people to her.
Me too.
Because she's, you know, not all therapists are amazing. I know. She's really amazing.
She's normal.
We're very
cool,
lucky.
Funny.
Exactly. A human being.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love it. When I was first working with her and I would reference Hollywood things and I was like, well, you know, I know you probably know from Witaske, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, she can't even acknowledge, like, only because you referred me can she acknowledge that she knows you.
Let me say this. I invited her to my wedding, but she is not going to be able to attend because there's going to be people at the wedding who are also her clients.
Oh my God. I love it. Okay. Because Mr. Chicago,
that's right.
The bear then comes about. How does that come about for you? And once that show hits and it hits hard and is that's going to go down as one of the most important shows of all time, period. In the genre, like cooking, it defines it, but a Chicago love letter, you know? So for you specifically to be on a show that is so meaningful to your hometown, what is that like and how does it come about?
The best. So this town is all about relationships. And
you bet. General meetings.
The show that you mentioned earlier, Love, on Netflix, Judd Apatow.
Yes.
I went to college with Paul Rust.
Oh, you did?
Who put me in my first play, a play that he wrote in college. And then we went our separate ways because I went to Chicago, he went to LA.
Yeah.
And then 10 years later, I auditioned for his show. And Allison Jones was casting and she had seen me at Second City.
My girl.
And I did a great job in the audition, I think. And so get the part. And so then through Love, I meet Gillian Jacobs, get to know her.
The best.
Her partner is Chris Storer, who I get to know. And we are Chicago bros and we like hit it off over Chicago. We don't become like you know, old pals, but like I meet him. And so then I auditioned for his show, The Bear, when it comes around. And I literally knew nothing about it. I was like, oh, cooking show, whatever. I was like knee deep in Chicago partying and writing those episodes with my friends. And so I just like auditioned. I had originally auditioned for The Cousin.
For Cousin?
For Cousin.
Richie.
Oh and I think I probably didn't have enough like edge.
I was going to say there's an energy
that
Eben brings to that part.
Yes.
Yes.
But then I think
Was he like, you'd be a great Pete?
you'd be a great Pete, I think. And then I think I auditioned for that too or whatever, and then booked it. And I remember just being like, oh, cool, a show that films in Chicago,
Yeah,
great.
exactly. I'll see my parents.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever. I'll see some friends.
And go to Chicago. That's the best part for me is I get to go home and they
Yes.
put me up in a cool hotel and get to see people and do.
So fun.
And so then it comes out, and I remember watching it, the full first season, and the Let It Rip moment with John Bernthal and like
With
and
the note.
the Radiohead song
Oh, what?
and like
Letdown?
yes.
I mean, please. I can't. Inject that final montage
Dude.
into my veins.
And I remember loving the whole season, but I remember
Show.
watching that scene in particular, and like I'm crying in my living room.
Yes.
And I remember thinking like, I'm on a really good show
Right,
here.
like, wait a
holy
sec.
shit, this is like a piece of art. And then
then
all of a sudden, all these motherfuckers are at the Met Gala. Like that.
And you
I
like
was
see
like-
at the Emmys. Speaking of, there's hardly any monoculture anymore, and things that are big deals to a group of people, some have never heard
Hard to
of,
break
right?
through.
It's very hard to
Like
be
there's no
sort of
Seinfeld where everybody watches it
correct
every week. And
But
yeah,
the Bear hit the culture.
I think so.
And
yeah.
the Bear, whatever the actual numbers are for FX and Hulu and its viewers, doesn't really matter. It hit the fucking culture.
Right.
And, speaking of Jeremy Allen White, became iconic.
Yes.
And the Bear became iconic.
Became
and
like
Chris
water
Storer-
cooler show.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly. And so what a special experience for it to have come about in such a cool, organic way.
Yeah.
And to be a great experience making it. And then it becomes, because I remember I'm such a John Bernthal fan that when I forget which episode you then reveal who Mikey is. And I was like, I turned to Matt and he was like, this is like the most loving thing. His dad had told him that Bernthal's on this show and he didn't tell me. So it got to be a surprise as
that's
we were
cool.
binging season one.
That's cool.
And I was like, I didn't know what to do with my body when I realized. And season one, incredible. Season two.
Yeah.
That goes down as one of the greatest seasons
Yeah.
of television history, as far as I'm
The
concerned.
opposite of a sophomore slump.
The Christmas flashback episode,
Oh, baby.
which as you walk in,
Tuna casserole. It was my mom's recipe.
I mean,
was just trying to be a good guest.
because you are like, and what I think is teed up in that episode, which then comes back so beautifully in episode 10.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, whoever hasn't seen The Bear, I'm not spoiling anything here, but like they open the restaurant. Jamie Lee Curtis's one for the ages iconic performance that like I can still hardly speak about, but you've really only seen her in the flashback at that point, that flashback episode.
Oh, right.
Fishes.
In the Christmas.
Exactly. And then she shows up to the opening of the restaurant, but she can't come inside. She's out
can't
there
bring herself
smoking and
to-
can't bring herself to do it. And Pete, your character, sees her and goes outside. And the exchange that they
Golden
have,
retriever ass Pete.
the exchange that they have,
Yeah.
I mean, it leveled me. I watched it again last night. And then when you go back inside and she's begging you to say that it's okay for her to go,
Yeah.
and you're begging her to come inside, and that basically you're like, I have to keep this to myself. But you're such a wonderful husband to Natalie, and you're just, and like, oh, and that's also the scene where you say, and come on, and the baby. And she goes, whose baby?
Yeah.
I mean, I could
She
fall
hasn't
apart
told
right
her
now.
mom yet.
She hadn't told her mom. And the look on your face, your nuanced performance,
Oh,
when you realize that she hadn't told her mom and that you have, oh my God, I have chills thinking about it. And then you trying to hold back tears at the table, and Natalie like not quite understanding what's going on and thinking like you're touched, that you're so proud of her and all of that. What you do in that episode.
Empathy. Pete was like feeling his wife's pain. Talk about Brene Brown, and like realizing what his wife must have gone through in her childhood, and like
Oh,
feeling
my
that.
God.
And yeah, oh God.
And how loaded it is for their whole family, and that, you know, like she can't go in there, and all of the memories of Michael. I mean, right at the end of the episode just prior, you know, let it rip and then let's open the restaurant, right? Like, oh, it is such a beautifully done show. I could obviously make this a Bear fan cast, and I won't do that today,
Yeah, yeah.
but I think what is such a special thing for you specifically on that show is you get to, like, you are a real person on that show. You are a real character. At the end of season 4, not the very end, but one of the, I want to say it's episode 9, when you're on the phone with Sydney and you have that great moment. I won't give anything away, but you said something like, yeah, no, I don't understand it either, which is like, again, Pete's such a golden retriever. You sort of for half a second are like, maybe. And then he's like, that's a joke because I'm a lawyer, so I do understand it. I mean, your delivery,
Such a dork.
but not a mean bone in your body, but can do sarcasm. That's a hard that's a hard balance.
Oh yeah, thank you.
So good. It's so just inherent to you. It's like really like a superpower. I love it.
You know what Fred Willard said one time, who was another one of my
Fred
guys.
Willard. Oh my God.
He's also right up there.
I don't have Waiting for Guffman
for me.
represented in this space, and that's a crime against humanity.
It's in my top 5.
Yeah.
He said, or someone said about him, but like it takes a really actually smart person to play a dumb guy.
Yes, and are you like, hopefully you can tell.
Yeah.
That's so great. That's so great. I love it.
I feel grateful to be on the show. And I remember, you know, when I first met Chris Storer, I was like, oh, this is like a cool Chicago dude.
Yeah.
And he was just Gillian's boyfriend when I first met him.
Yeah.
But it really goes to show that like there are people out here, artists who like, he had that in him, the bear. Like
it's incredible.
Meeting him, I was like, oh yeah, he's like a cool dude. And then he creates this piece of art and it's like,
it is truly exactly. And I was fortunate enough to meet Joanna Callow last year also.
Yeah, cool.
And they just, what they collectively have done, I really think it has no comparison when you look at family stuff and striving for excellence and how hard we are on ourselves and just like all the things in life is hard. But
and then
also,
to package it in a cool fucking show.
I was gonna say in like the most entertaining,
with awesome music and like awesome lighting and amazing acting. It's like it's great.
It's wild.
And Chris's sister Courtney is like in charge. She's like in charge of all the food stuff.
Well, so Gillian and I,
chef,
I love Gillian so much. We made a movie together years ago called I Used to Go Here, and so Gillian and I would catch up every so often, and we would always meet at John and Vinny's for lunch.
Oh, yeah.
And that's because Courtney Storer, who is the producer and creative consultant basically on The Bear, and like the authenticity consultant, I would call her, right? It's incredible. And she came out of John and Vinny's too.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
cool. So cool. Okay.
What's your dream now for, I mean, I know this, but like, what's next for Becky Sloviter?
You did it. As we were talking right before when you got here, I was like, it's Witaske, right? Because I'm so sensitive about it's Sloviter. It is not Sloviter. My dad and I will still send each other.
Is Mrs. Sloviter there?
Oh, that's like on a good day. My dad was at the bank, he told me recently, and got Mr. Sloviterer. Like it's a nightmare. And I married someone named Matt Smith and should have just taken that.
I'm about to marry Eliza Miller.
Eliza Miller, you have such a fucking great name.
Yeah, she does.
Now she's going to be Eliza Miller Witaske.
Now she's going to is Mrs. Witaske.
Yeah, exactly. The butchering. I really just tried to avoid answering your question. But I'm going to be
insane, amazing experience now.
I paid you to say that. Go on.
And like, what? I mean, like, what's your?
The real is I have no idea what is next. I made this movie last year called Let's Have Kids. Mm-hmm. It was the greatest experience I've ever had. And I am so beyond proud of this movie. And I could talk about it endlessly. I bring it up in almost every podcast. And it is still not out yet. Because it's been a little bit like lost in the shuffle. And that has like really hurt my soul that we sort of do everything right, and still it's just kind of sitting there, and it'll see the light of day soon, I hope, but it's just like that has hurt my heart. Where the business is has just like really beaten me down, and I'm so proud of all the things I've made, and I want to really like, I'm real clear on why I moved out here, and it certainly wasn't because I thought there will be great monetary success.
Right.
And so if my guiding light is the creative, and I don't say that in a like on my high horse way, like I would also love to make a nice living, but it's so hard to have like great art like Bear get through the filter, right? And
but why? Because then the Bear comes out and it wins all these awards, and it like everybody's talking about it, and it's great for FX.
Everyone says they want another The Bear, and all of the roadblocks are still in place. So it's like, to me, when I see something like The Bear, it's a miracle. And there's incredible TV out there. Like the studio, to me, that's also a miracle. But that is Seth and Evan, peak of their powers, pushing through and having creative control that they have very much earned, and being able to make that note perfect show. But there's also a lot of garbage out there. This is such a long way of saying I am hoping that this podcast revives my creativity a bit, and that I feel like, okay, I can jump in again and go fight the good fight, because the movie that, still isn't out, it took us 4 years to get that made. And now by the time it's out, it'll be 2 years since we made it, 4 years trying to get it made. And again, I'm not high on my own supply here. It's so fucking good.
Yeah.
And that, again, has just kind of broken me a little. So a long way of just being like real, like I have no ability to shine it on and be like, yeah, I'm so excited to jump back into X, Y, or Z. Would love to make
we're
something.
Just in a weird phase in the business, or do you think that it will?
You want the real answer?
Yeah.
No, I think Matt Bellany was just featured in like an extensive sort of profile in the New York Times. Matt Bellany is the leading voice in entertainment journalism, with both credibility, but also like sort of a, it's not gossipy. He has a great take because he's so part of the town, and he has that podcast, The Town, and the newsletter, what I'm hearing. He just is as dialed in to what's going on in Hollywood as anyone is, and also doesn't pull any punches. And his line in the New York Times that really struck me, it was like, I feel like I am screaming iceberg on the Titanic.
Meaning AI, or meaning like the streaming model?
AI, the lack of the number of studios keeps decreasing. I think today is the day that the bids for Warner Brothers are due. So now Skydance took over Paramount, and now there's going to be one less studio when whoever takes over Warner Brothers or merges it. I think AI is a huge part of it. I feel like I get so soapboxy, so I'm like trying to keep it slightly contained here. I could go on, but I think all of this, I know. I need to like hand out lithium before people come.
So you're saying I should go to dental school?
I'm saying that as I sat at my son's orthodontist appointment a few years ago with him, and I was so depressed about the business. And I remember sitting at this appointment, staring at his orthodontist, who is the happiest, nicest man in the world. And I was like, that seems like a good life. Maybe I should do that.
This guy's got it figured out.
So like, there's some truth underneath it. And at the same time, I don't want to go do anything else.
Yeah, I mean,
I love this business.
Same.
Right? And it's that exchange in heat between De Niro and Pacino when they're, opposite sides of the law, but he says something like, I don't know how to do anything else. And then like they kind of sit in silence for a sec. And then he goes, I don't much want to either. Like, it's like, this is who we are, right? We were drawn to this business for a reason. I fucking love it in many ways. Nothing excites me more than watching something like season 1 of The Bear and being like, I've been broken open.
Same.
Normal People, Fleabag, like just all my favorite things. Nothing means more to me than that stuff. I moved out here because I saw the Royal Tenenbaums, and that was the final straw of like pushing me out here.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, yeah.
And when Gwyneth gets off the bus and it gets really quiet and they play the Nico song and I just started sobbing and
Yep.
I was like, I'm never going to care about anything like I care about movies and TV. I got to go.
Same.
And that's
I
the
remember
thing, right?
watching, Dead Poet Society for the first time and just like weeping and be like, I want to do that. Or Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, or seeing that Second City show, or I mean, the list goes on and on. It's
Exactly. And
yeah.
like this is such a perfect segue to the last segment, Last Looks. Oh, and the music stuff, which we will get to. Oh, and I have, as we start Last Looks, one additional question, which comes from Matt Smith. He was like, oh, also, I would like you to ask Witaske this when you get to the music stuff.
Your hubs.
Yes.
Cool dude, by the way.
Your biggest fan.
Also in showbiz.
Yes, he is. Exactly. In the biz. So, first question of Last Looks. What is your favorite movie of all time? I know, it's a hard one.
It's so hard.
And feel free to be like, I can't just name one, name a few.
Can I?
Totally.
Okay.
Of course.
There's one that I feel like because of new info, I not even supposed to say it, but Annie Hall.
I was going to say Annie Hall. Yes.
Annie Hall was up there because when I saw
as you tee that up, I'm like, I know what this is going to be. It's Annie Hall. We're all uncomfortable with it, but it is a brilliant movie.
Brilliant movie, and the relationship, like the way yes. Another one that is special to me, which I feel a little embarrassed saying a lot, but it's because my dad showed it to me when I was like 13 years old. And, he probably showed it to me before he should have.
Yep.
But I remember like staying up and like sitting there with my dad. And so it was like bonding with my dad. But the movie was Animal House.
Yeah.
And I remember just laughing my ass off with my dad. And
that's so formative,
seeing
right?
John Belushi.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of I know there's things now in that movie that are like, people are like, oh, problematic or whatever.
Yeah.
But there's just like a lot of mischief in that movie. And I'm like a big fan of mischief.
Yeah.
And I think seeing that as a young boy was like, you can do this? Like,
totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
So
and then
it's
led
like,
you right to being party chair of your frat.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. But like the Second City connection.
Totally.
And just like,
yeah, Belushi's your guy.
It's a really funny movie. Yeah.
Oh, so good.
I would put Dead Poet Society up there. I remember seeing that the first time.
This is the best because you're such a well-rounded dude that I think these all bear mentioning.
Yeah.
Do you have another you want to throw in?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I could keep going. The Big Lebowski's huge for me. I think it's just so funny. I rewatched it recently and it's just like the perfect, like
the best.
The
best.
Yeah. What else is up there for me? Yeah, those are probably up in my top.
You have great taste, as
Thank
we
you.
know. Okay. I'm very excited for this question. Music.
Oh, yeah.
We're obviously very bonded on music.
Yes.
You're stranded on a desert island.
Okay.
You have 2 albums with you to maintain your sanity. What are those 2 albums?
Okay, I think I would pick Exile on Main Street by the Rolling Stones. Would probably be up there.
Great choice.
Yeah, that'd be one. Just a great album, start to finish.
Yep, no
and
skips.
like they wrote it like in a mansion in France while they were all doing heroin, and it's just like rock and roll. It's it's like a pure rock and roll album. And my dad raised me on the Stones and Led Zeppelin and all the classic rock stuff. A lot of my stuff is stuff that my dad introduced me to, and so it has a lot of meaning to it.
Yeah.
And then my favorite band is Phish, which I've been defending my entire life. Which there's an album called Billy Breathes that I would probably pick for.
Okay, this is a perfect tee up for Matt Smith's question. And I now have to give a little context. So he's like, you know what you should ask Witaske also? Favorite Phish live track or like favorite show he's ever been to. And the joke we have about this is he once was going to a Phish show like 10 years ago and he was taking an Uber and he gets in, they're like taking him to the bowl. And the driver goes, oh, you're going to the show? 37-minute tweezer last night. Or no, in Idaho. It was did you hear about Idaho? Oh, it's
Tahoe, the Tahoe tweezer.
Okay.
Probably we're talking about the Tahoe tweezer.
Did you hear about Tahoe? 37-minute tweezer. And that's funny that we say Idaho and it's not right, but either way. So yesterday when he says this to me, I go, wait, I know you ran into Witaske at the Grateful Dead cover band show, and I know we've seen him at a million other shows, but I've never been to a Phish show. I'm like, they're fine. I don't really care.
Yeah.
Matt loves Phish. And I go, are you sure he's a Phish guy? And he looks at me like I have 12 heads and is like, yes. I know this 100%.
It's like my whole identity.
Correct. So, do you have an answer to this question? What is your either favorite show you've been to?
Yeah.
Because I now can't remember what he wanted to know.
Yeah.
Or favorite track, I guess, from a live show.
It's probably the Tahoe Tweezer. The Tahoe Tweezer is arguably the greatest Phish jam of all time, and it's like 37 minutes.
I mean, I'm dying.
And it is like, so people who don't like Phish, it's hard to like. I'm done trying to convince people to like Phish.
I've had it.
Yes,
you've had a lifetime.
I've done it with a lot of girlfriends. Like I've tried to like force it. God bless Eliza Miller. She actually is liking it.
Okay. I was going to say, indulging it, liking it, like where are we?
She's probably been to maybe 6 or 7 shows so far.
Eliza, bless you.
This is why I'm marrying this woman.
She's amazing.
And she likes it more and more each time she goes.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I'll catch her on the Phish Reddit page. I'm like, what are you reading right there? And she's like, oh, I was just reading the... I'm like,
nothing.
You're like submersing yourself into the...
holy shit, that's awesome.
Are you guys, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Is Pearl Jam number
is,
one?
For Matt Smith it is.
For Matt.
I love Pearl Jam and have now been to, because of Matt, honestly, I've probably been to 30 shows. At this point, he's probably been to 100.
Wow, really?
Yes, and you saw that, a photo we have in our living room, the Danny Clinch photograph of Pearl Jam. Pearl Jam is life for Matt Smith and REM and U2, but we'll do a Matt Smith deep dive at some point. Yeah. I am Springsteen.
You are number one Springsteen. That's okay. Yeah. Okay,
exactly. Okay. And my girl Liz Fair, Chicago native, is my number 2.
The Boss. I mean,
he's real high up for you too, right? Yeah. I feel like we've probably run into each other at Springsteen shows.
Yes,
too.
we have. So, very quick story.
Yes.
My best friend and writing partner, George McCullough.
Yes. I just met him, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Great dude. And he is like crazy Springsteen, like your level Springsteen. Oh, crazy.
When on that Zoom we had, he was telling me that story. Okay, go ahead.
So, at this run of shows, because I think Bruce did like 3 or 4 shows.
Yes.
This was some years ago, but. George goes and gets in the lottery and gets front row and brings some friends. And when he plays Dancing in the Dark, he brings up a woman to do the Courtney Cox dance.
The Courtney Cox dance that we can all do.
Right.
Correct.
So George, of course, knows this because he's been to a shit ton of Boss shows.
Yeah.
George makes a poster board with a hole cut out to put his head in this hole. Dancing in the Dark comes. George puts his head through the hole at the concert, and sure enough,
he's like,
Bruce points him out and pulls George up on stage, and George proceeds to do the Dancing in the Dark dance. Then Bruce, like, not just the dance, Bruce is like, all right, come over here. George joins him like on the center stage. They put a guitar on him, and George then for the end of the song is playing along and singing into the microphone, switching back and forth from him and Bruce.
It's unreal.
It's like unreal watching.
He showed me a little of that video when we met, and I'm still recovering from that. I can't even imagine, like, do we think George wakes up some mornings and is like, did that happen?
Truly. Like,
you know what I mean?
It's pure watch. I watch it like once a year. It's pure like joy. Watch, because I love this man so much, George. He's like my best bud and writing partner.
Salt to the earth.
Such a good dude. But like watching this guy's dream come true in real time with his hero.
Yeah, it truly, you can't believe it.
So
I love
Bruce
that
is
so
your
much.
number 1.
Okay. And Tahoe Tweezer. Matt's going to laugh when it's not Idaho.
It's the most perfect Phish jam of all time. What they really are is they're all like savant level talented on their instruments.
Yeah.
And then they improvise.
Yeah.
And so at Phish concerts, real Phish fans go there for the jams.
Yeah,
like they'll start a song and they'll be playing their song, but then all of a sudden at a certain point it shifts into improvisation.
Yes.
And then they go on a musical journey, which if you're not a Phish fan, you're like, what the fuck is, like get me out of here. Like, can we?
Totally.
But if you're a Phish fan,
it's heaven,
like,
right?
It's like Nirvana.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure. Have they done the Sphere yet?
Oh yeah.
And you've gone, obviously, because yes. I like bouncing around the room and I like Farmhouse and that's where I tap out. So, and I know his name's Trey. Like that's my limit.
Totally
I'm
understand.
just, it's embarrassing.
I get it. Totally
okay. Next question, books.
Yeah.
What is either your favorite book of all time or a book you've read lately that you loved and would recommend?
A book that I always go back to is The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle.
Eckhart Tolle. Love that.
I really think the answers to life are in that book. And it really is, to me, just coming back to the moment.
Love this.
And
Love this.
rather
It's like
than
staying present.
Yes. And rather than thinking about the past and living in regret and like, oh shit, I wish I would have done that differently or said that differently and da-da-da-da.
Yep.
Or worrying about the future.
Yep.
And I think that's what brings about anxiety.
Yeah.
Worrying about, well, this could happen, this could da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
But really, as much as what I try to do in my life is, as much as I can, come back to just right now, just breathe.
Yep.
Just be in this moment. Everything's fine. And that book,
That's amazing.
it's one of these books where I'll read a couple pages and then I kind of have to set it down because it's a lot. And then,
Oh, wow.
but I am like a self-help kind of a guy. I like Brene and all this stuff.
Brene all day.
But that book is the one that I go back to more than any.
And do you think that has really played a huge part in your sobriety as well?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Will you also, for anyone listening to this who's considering getting sober, what is the name of that book? Quit Drinking the Easy Way?
The Easy Way
by Alan.
The Easy Way to Quit Drinking by Alan Carr.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you read that.
I read that.
And that is what really transformed everything for you.
Yes.
So you did not go what is the typical route sometimes of AA and meetings, but this really worked for you.
It did.
That's
and I also
awesome.
just do want to say that I quit. I'm sober from alcohol. I will probably twice a year do psychedelic drugs. A lot of times at Phish concerts.
I think they call that California sober.
They do. But I want to say also with that, people will be like, oh, you're California sober. But to me, California sober implies that you smoke pot. And I don't smoke pot.
Right.
I don't like smoking pot.
Yeah.
And so I guess you could call it that. But I used to rip cigs in high school and college.
Yep.
Which is my biggest life regret is the fact that I smoked cigarettes. But I remember when I was trying to quit, somebody gave me the book, The Easy Way to Quit Smoking by this guy, Alan Carr.
Yes.
And read it. And by the time you close the book and you're finished, I'm like, it changes something. And you're just like, oh, I don't want to be doing this.
When you told me about this, I was like, wait, what? That's amazing. And so then he wrote a book called The Easy Way to Quit Drinking.
Correct.
Applying, I imagine, some of the same principles.
Yes. And when I was at my probably what you would call rock bottom, I was like looking into 12-step and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And even like went to a couple meetings. But then I found that he wrote the same book, but for drinking.
Yeah.
And I sat down and read it. And same thing. By the time I'm finished with the book, I'm like, and that's what the book is it frames it in a way where you're like, oh, my life is going to get so much better without this. And I'm not actually giving anything up. It's actually like going to improve my life.
Yes.
And
that's awesome.
It just, you finish the book and you're just like, oh,
it's like a real eureka moment.
It really is.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's so amazing.
So now I think about, to me, drinking alcohol, I think about it the same way as like eating raw chicken or something. I'm like, oh,
like I just wouldn't do that.
I just don't want to anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's been 11 and a half years.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Good for you. That's so inspiring.
I
That's
recommend
awesome.
the book to people. And I know I have friends who have also quit with this book. I also am very, I have a lot of friends who have done 12-step in AA.
Me too.
And it's saved their lives.
Yes,
And so I'm very
completely
pro, but for me, like, yeah.
That's so awesome. I was talking to a friend just this morning about it and her sobriety journey and basically like I hadn't heard this term before, but the 90 day, it's like 90 meetings.
90.
Yes, exactly. And because again, it is such a journey, right? Like it is one day at a time.
Yeah, big time.
Do you still feel that?
No, I don't.
You just don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a real struggle for you.
No, it's not. Like I was saying earlier, I hang out in bars to like, go watch the big game at the bar. And I love it. I like bar culture. It's like a bunch of people sitting around.
Totally.
And I'm at the point now where I don't even think about it. Like, I'm just like,
Wow.
yeah.
The reason I wanted to make sure to touch upon that, and I am sorry that I forgot until we're going to talk about books. I think this is a journey for so many people, and it can be a real 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Like,
For sure.
you are making the effort, you know that you want to change. It's really fucking hard to change.
Yes.
And especially when you are not changing a lot of the environmental factors in your life, right? And especially when friends or family are not super fucking psyched about it. And I'm both inspired by it, and then there's also, you can really fall off and then try again,
For sure.
Yeah.
I will say I remember in the first year, I feel like I had to do every big event once without alcohol, meaning like, oh, this is my first Cubs game.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that must have been wild.
Ordering a beer. And this is my first wedding without getting hammered.
Yeah, or like Thanksgiving.
Yes.
How was that first Cubs game?
I think it was hard. I think it was because it's just it's connected. When I go to a Cubs game, I drink,
of course,
5 old styles, and then all of a sudden you're not, and I think getting over the hump of each. But so it was hard, I think, at first. But that book really, really helped me. Did you find you had to keep going back to it? Yeah, but no, I think once I finished it, it was all in there and I absorbed it.
That's awesome.
And, so that's just to say now I don't even think about it because now it's been 11 years and I'm just like,
yes,
it's not a big deal.
And you're getting married in a couple months and you're not like, ooh, hope I can get through that without.
My life is so much better without it. And so it's
exactly.
Yeah. The one thing I will say though, that I get a lot is it's interesting. People will say to me, how did you quit? And then I will say, I read this book. And they go, okay, cool. But how did you quit? And I'm like, I read this book.
Right.
Like, help me. And they're like, okay, fine. But tell me, how did you? And I'm like, this fucking book. I read this book and it helped. I think it's hard for some people to get that like reading a book could change it, but it just I'm telling you, it just changes the way you think about it and it changes your relationship to it.
Amazing. Amazing. Okay. Final question and last looks. What TV show is your favorite of all time, or what have you watched recently and that you loved and would recommend?
Wow. Of all time. Okay.
Can be a few. I
grew up on, I think as I've gotten older too, I've realized that growing up watching The Simpsons shaped my humor a lot too. And and so that was just being a kid watching The Simpsons, and it's like adult comedy writing in a cartoon.
Totally.
And so funny.
The best.
And yes.
We watched decades, it feels like, of Simpsons during the pandemic with our kids.
Did you? Yeah.
And I was like, our work here is done.
And did they like it?
Oh, loved it.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Obsessed.
Yeah. I really think that show shaped me more than I even realized.
It's brilliant.
Yeah. What other shows? I love The Sopranos is up there for me. I loved the show Catastrophe.
A perfect show, and you are not the first person to sit here and say that.
Really?
Sharon London sex. Wow. I am so obsessed with that show too.
Isn't it great?
Oh my God. Sharon Horgan, Rob Delaney, and just the brilliance of that. Say more.
Developing a show right now with George, who of
George
Bruce
McCullough.
Springsteen fame.
Exactly. Of Dancing in the Dark
That's
fame.
right. With a production company called Fifth Season. They're very cool.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. They do Severance and a bunch of other shit.
You bet.
And we have, in the pitch, have described it as a catastrophe tone. Ooh. And so, yeah.
Ooh, love it.
Yeah.
Nothing funnier, nothing more real. Goes fucking dark.
Yes, which I love.
Of course. Yeah. Like, we will eat that
Darker
up,
the better.
right?
Yeah. Oh, another one just popped in my head that I should say is Mr. Show with Bob Odenkirk and David Cross was huge for me too.
Huge. I remember you telling me that when we first met. Yeah, Matt loved that show too. Yeah. Okay. We have reached the end of the road. If you can believe it, I will let you get out of here.
This felt like a therapy sesh.
By the way, we don't need to see our shared therapist next week. I love it. This was so great. I knew that this would be such a fun hang and like it was like nourishing for my soul. This is like exactly what I want this podcast to be.
Same.
Well, I loved it. And just like highlighting what is so special and unique about you, and also like just the art that we're trying to make in this godforsaken business, and like why to keep going, you know?
I mean, I didn't know that that's why you moved out here, was like you saw Royal Tenenbaums and were like, yeah, I mean, it's great to like learn people's stories.
Yeah, like the origin story, right? That's why I have that poster right there. What we're made of, the perseverance, the like how hard, not how bad do you want it? Everyone wants it bad. But the
why you're
correct.
Yes,
your purpose, your why, all of that is like what keeps you going, I think.
Totally. Now I want like to do what John Candy did, and
totally. I love it. Witaske, you're the best.
Thank
you
me,
so much. I love it.
Great.
I never know how to end, so I'm just gonna get up. This is so fun. General Meeting with Becky Sloviter is hosted and executive produced by me, Becky Sloviter. Our editor is Jay Rothman. Our audio engineer and director of photography is Hector Fernandez. Our tech producer is Griffin Davis. And our theme music is by Jay Rothman. If you're enjoying this podcast, I would be so appreciative if you would subscribe or follow the show on whatever platform you get your podcasts. All of our episodes are on video as well on our YouTube channel at General Meeting Pod. Please consider subscribing there as well. You can also find us on Instagram and TikTok at General Meeting Pod. And more information is on our website, generalmeetingpod.com. Thank you, and most importantly, go Birds.